For the first time, I've not heard before. This is the first time I've heard districts saying they have few or no applicants for elementary teaching positions.
Whew, be a teacher. You get summers off, right? Well, it appears a lot more teachers are staying away from schools for a lot longer than a season. And administrators are putting in extra hours this summer, trying to fill a lot of vacancies with qualified educators before everything comes back together in the fall. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we learned the state was looking to fill about 900 open teaching positions across the state. Since then, that number has dropped to about 700, which is good, but it's still a lot left open, and this late in the year. The State Board of Education held a meeting in Pocatello yesterday, and Dr. Linda Clark, the former superintendent of the West Ada School District, said they've had just as many openings in prior years, but this year there were a lot fewer people applying. Teachers leave every year. We know this. They retire, they go find a better gig elsewhere, and usually those vacancies are filled by others with teaching certificates who just happen to be moving into Idaho. Well, that's not happening this year. The people, they are moving in. That is happening, just not who want to jump into a classroom. Teachers retiring seems to be a big part of this equation. About 450, around half of those who left decided they were just done with teaching altogether. That amounts to about 2% of the total teachers in Idaho's K-12 public schools. Well, minus the 4% who left already. So where are those openings? All over the state, we're being told. Most are in the Treasure Valley, of course, because, well, that stands to reason that's where most of Idaho's people live. But no matter the district, there are open jobs.
We always have trouble with science and math and special ed, but this is a system-wide, I would think, crisis. So our ability to ensure that quality instructors are in every classroom and the children are getting the benefit of that is severely hampered at this point. As a system, I've had some success with alternative route certifications, but as indicated here, in some of these places, they literally have no applicants.
They're just not applying. And there's more than one reason Idaho is struggling to find qualified teachers right now. But you can imagine it all starts with the pay gap. During the last legislative session, lawmakers approved an additional $104 million for teacher pay specifically. And they added more than $180 million into improved benefits for public school employees and their families. But according to the National Education Association, which updated their stats at the end of April this year, while our starting salary for teachers in Idaho is decent, it's ranked 29th in the country, Idaho is way down at the bottom for average teacher pay, 45th in the country at $51,000 a year. That's just above the minimum living wage in Idaho, they say. Washington, by the way, our neighbor to the west, and Oregon, well, they're number 6 and number 14, respectively. So pay and probably frustration with putting up with the recent, in most cases, unwarranted criticism what goes on in the classroom have all kind of come together to add to this crisis and all play into why Idaho can't find the teachers to fill. How about this apprentice program? That idea was floated by the legislature this year, and it would allow paraprofessionals, those who help teachers in the classroom, to become full-time teachers on their own without first having to earn a bachelor's degree. It's kind of like districts having their own farm team for teachers. Well, that idea has to get approval from Governor Little first before the board can pursue that program. So we're still likely not going to help clear up the current crisis in time for this fall.